As Kobe attempted to finish his drink in one gulp, Aiden grabbed his hand and urged him to drink in moderation, warning that he would end up sick if he continued like this. Kobe looked at him in surprise, unsure of how to respond. However, one of their friends didn't appreciate Aiden's interference and told him to let Kobe enjoy himself. Another friend, sitting beside them, asked him in disbelief if he even considered himself a friend after saying that. Laughing, the friend proudly declared that of course, they were friends. Aiden then explained that if Kobe got drunk, he would be the one to suffer, since he would have to take him home. Amused, the friend suggested they should all head to Kobe's house for a second round instead. Annoyed and slightly drunk, Kobe sarcastically asked his friend if they even had permission from the landlord to host such a party. Another friend, confused, questioned Kobe, reminding him that he was the owner of the house. Their banter left the entire group laughing, and the lively conversation soon resumed. As the cheerful mood spread among his friends, Kobe couldn't help but feel a little lighter. He decided to push away the lingering thoughts that had been haunting him and focus on enjoying the moment. For a while, he genuinely felt like he didn't care about the accident anymore. Just as he was beginning to think he could let it all go, Kobe's leg brushed against Aiden's under the table. He flinched, his body freezing in place as his mind raced. Trying to calm himself, he reasoned that such things were normal when sitting so close together. Yet, unable to resist, he stole a glance at Aiden. To his dismay, Aiden caught his look, smirking shamelessly. Casually, Aiden asked him what was wrong, his tone full of amusement. Kobe, flustered and furious, opened his mouth to reply, but could only manage to stutter incoherently. His awkwardness only fueled Aiden's teasing as he leaned in with a grin, asking if Kobe was drunk to be talking like that. Kobe's face turned bright red, and he quickly averted his gaze, wondering how long Aiden had been watching him. Before Kobe could fully collect his thoughts, Aiden suddenly stood up, preparing to leave. Startled, Kobe asked where he was going. Aiden casually excused himself, saying he was stepping outside to smoke. As Aiden smoked alone in the empty alley, his thoughts churned. He wondered if his teasing had gone too far. Yet when he recalled Kobe's flustered reaction, he couldn't help but grin. It had been far too entertaining. No matter how much Kobe tried to act indifferent, Aiden could tell he was still conscious of the kiss. A complicated emotion flickered in Aiden's eyes as his mind drifted back to that moment. Kobe's reddened face when they kissed. Aiden clenched his teeth, trying to push the memory away. He told himself he needed to stop thinking like this. There was no point, and it would be better to let it go. Just as he resolved to drop the matter, Kobe's voice startled him. Turning around, he saw Kobe standing there. Kobe asked why he was smoking when he had told him before that he'd quit. Aiden was surprised he hadn't expected Kobe to follow him outside. Quickly recovering, he grinned and asked in a teasing tone why Kobe had come out if he didn't even smoke. Kobe's gaze lingered on Aiden for a moment, but unable to find the right words, he quickly shifted his eyes away. After a brief silence, he finally admitted that he didn't know why he had followed him outside. Kobe's face, now flushed with embarrassment, looked just like it had during their first kiss, blushing and unexpectedly alluring. Seeing that expression, something shifted in Aiden's gaze. Unable to hold himself back any longer, he leaned down and kissed Kobe. This time, Kobe didn't hesitate. He kissed him back, his actions matching Aiden's intensity. When they pulled away after a fleeting moment, their eyes met, and without a word, they understood one another. Their gazes conveyed what neither of them could put into words. Once again, Aiden leaned down, capturing Kobe's lips in a deeper, more intense kiss. The alley, though dimly lit and hidden, was still open to passersby. Kobe couldn't stop the thought that they must be out of their minds to be doing this out in the open. Yet the world around them seemed to disappear. When they finally pulled apart, both were silent for a moment, their breathing heavy and uneven. Kobe, his face still flushed, muttered that Aiden smelled of cigarettes. Aiden smirked and replied that he hadn't been able to quit because of someone. Kobe blinked, confused by the remark at first. But as the meaning sank in, he lowered his head, regretting how he had misunderstood Aiden. In that quiet moment, Kobe realized that it wasn't that Aiden didn't care about what had happened between them. Just like him, Aiden had been equally unsettled and affected by their kiss. Seeing Kobe's downcast expression, Aiden gently called his name and reached out to touch his face. The light contact made Kobe flinch. Aiden softly told him to lift his head and look at him. When Aiden tried to caress his cheek, Kobe resisted, his face turning red as he met Aiden's gaze. Aiden was captivated by his expression. It was the same as yesterday, the one that had lingered in his mind ever since. Aiden began calling Kobe's name again and again, his voice soft and insistent as he leaned closer. Embarrassed, Kobe stammered, asking why Aiden kept saying his name. Aiden didn't answer. Instead, he rested his head on Kobe's shoulder, his breath warm and steady. His hand tentatively reached under Kobe's t-shirt, and his voice was low as he asked if Kobe wanted to go back inside the restaurant. He left the rest unsaid, but the suggestion in his tone was unmistakable. Suddenly, their friend, drunk and angered, came searching for them in the alley. To his surprise, the alley was completely empty, and the two were nowhere to be found. After searching and calling for them for some time, the friend grew frustrated, wondering where the two had disappeared to. Unbeknownst to him, Kobe and Aiden had already made their way home and had found themselves locked in a passionate embrace. The next morning when Kobe woke up, he noticed Aiden sleeping on the floor. Aiden's face appeared peaceful, his soft features illuminated by the morning light. Kobe couldn't help but admit to himself how beautiful Aiden looked, even in his sleep. As he stared at Aiden, memories of the previous night resurfaced, filling him with embarrassment. A wave of shame washed over him as he scolded himself for not stopping after the kiss, even though it had felt so good. He wondered why he hadn't stopped, and internally berated himself for letting the moment escalate. The thought of how far things had gone left him in disbelief. Kobe tried to calm himself, questioning whether it was even acceptable to do such things with Aiden. He found himself confused, unable to understand the strange worries stirring in his mind. His thoughts were interrupted when Aiden asked what he had been thinking about. Startled, Kobe realized Aiden had been awake and observing him all along. Seeing Kobe's flustered expression, Aiden smirked, clearly amused by his embarrassment. Suddenly, Aiden reached for Kobe and pulled him down. Kobe thought Aiden was insane as he landed awkwardly on top of him, leaving them in a tense and uncomfortable position. Aiden asked Kobe whether he regretted what had happened between them the previous day. Kobe didn't answer, his face reflecting a complicated mix of emotions. After a moment of hesitation, he gathered his courage and asked Aiden if he liked him. The silence that followed felt like an eternity. Then Aiden began laughing, dismissing the question as nonsense. He told Kobe that feelings weren't necessary to kiss or be intimate with someone. Kobe thought Aiden's words were wrong, but deep down, he realized he shared the same sentiment. With a teasing smirk, Aiden pointed out that Kobe had a hickey on his neck. Mortified, Kobe hit Aiden in embarrassment. Annoyed and unwilling to deal with Aiden any longer, he stormed off to take a shower. Aiden silently watched him leave, his expression unreadable. What Kobe didn't realize was that Aiden's emotions were far more complex than he let on, and the situation was driving him to the brink of madness. Later, they met up with the two friends they had been with the previous day. Lee immediately started shouting, demanding to know where they had gone and why they hadn't returned. Aiden quickly explained that Kobe had suddenly started feeling ill, so he took him home. He added that he was tired himself and ended up falling asleep. Hearing this, Lee asked with genuine concern if Kobe was feeling better now, remarking that it was surprising since he had always thought Kobe was a good drinker. Kobe could only nod and go along with Aiden's lie. With a tearful expression, Lee told Kobe that they had a lot of fun and enjoyed plenty of food the previous night, all thanks to Aiden's card. However, he apologized, saying it was a shame Kobe couldn't join in the fun. Kobe reassured him that it was fine. Aiden then retrieved his phone and wallet from Lee, both of which he had left behind in his rush to leave. As they chatted, Kobe's mind drifted back to the events of the previous night. He knew it wasn't an illness that had made them leave, but rather the intimate moments they had spent together afterward. Suddenly, Aiden's words from the night before echoed in his mind that they should settle for just touching each other for today. The phrase lingered in Kobe's thoughts, and he couldn't help but wonder what Aiden had meant by today. Did it imply there would be a next time? Thinking about everything, Kobe couldn't help but stare at Aiden. Throughout the entire outing, his gaze lingered on Aiden, unwavering and intense. Aiden, clearly aware of Kobe's constant attention, tried to act indifferent, but it was becoming increasingly difficult for him to focus. Unable to handle it any longer, Aiden suddenly grabbed Kobe's arm and asked him to step outside for a moment. Startled by Aiden's abrupt behavior, Kobe hesitated but eventually followed him. Aiden led him into a washroom stall, his expression unreadable, and demanded to know what Kobe wanted. Kobe, flustered by how close Aiden was, stammered that he didn't know. Aiden smirked, leaning in slightly, as he asked why Kobe had been staring at him so intently. Kobe tried to deny it, but his reaction only made Aiden step even closer. Feeling trapped, Kobe complained that the stall was too narrow and that he wanted to leave, his flustered expression betraying his discomfort. Aiden, amused by Kobe's reaction, began teasing him further, his touches light but deliberate. He thought to himself that he must have lost his mind because Kobe had never looked so irresistibly cute. As they became lost in the moment, their friends entered the washroom, calling out to look for them. Though their voices were just outside, Aiden didn't stop, his teasing continuing. Overwhelmed, Kobe began to cry, and begged Aiden to stop. Realizing he had gone too far, Aiden pulled back immediately, his expression softening. He apologized sincerely, admitting that he had crossed the line. He told Kobe that if he wanted to get back at him, he could do the same. Hearing this, Kobe's embarrassment turned into anger. He hit Aiden hard, his frustration boiling over, and stormed out of the stall, leaving Aiden behind in shock and regret.